Okay, so it is, what is it today? It is 13th of March, and I've been thinking about making this video because I'm excited for April because it's my first time participating in camp NaNoWriMo in, ever. So I'm like getting excited. Mostly because I decided at the beginning of this year that I'm gonna participate in both camps and also in Nano in November. So I'm like a little bit considered. I'm a little bit concerned that I'm maybe a little bit insane, but this kind of sanity probably isn't too bad. So, how in the world do we prep for April? I'm imagining, now mind you, I am a complete newbie when it comes to these things, but I'm imagining it isn't that much different from November, basically. I mean, obviously we're gonna need to make a decision when we decide to participate in camp. We're gonna need to like decide what we're gonna work on. First, we're gonna need to decide to participate, but also like with what we're gonna work on. Like with camp, everything is basically just open. So you could be working on your novel. You could be, I mean, we could be like doing a second or third draft on our NaNoWriMo draft, but I kind of want to work on something else. Like doing revisions, redrafting, or second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh draft of a novel, writing short stories, screenplays, children's book, recipe book, fanfiction. We're gonna need to decide where we're gonna write, like tidying up our writing desk if we use that type of thing, or find some other place to write in. We definitely need to make, like, at least think about how we're gonna write our things. Are we gonna write on computer, laptop, spiral notebook, ancient parchment, with crayon on the walls? And also when we are putting things in on the camp, or on the NaNoWriMo page, we apparently need a title. So maybe think of a title to put things, put the project in. I kind of have a headache with that because I'm always like, titling things I always think is so formal, but again, it's probably not gonna be the only title the work is, exists under. No, I literally just jumped out of the shower because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this done. We have our sunny weather, the sun is like right over there in my back. It's like, it's a thing. And then of course, probably we're gonna need some help with well, not with the dog. With all the writing. We could like use writing books like Ursula K. Le Guin's Steering the Craft, although she doesn't say it for beginners, so I should probably not be overemphasizing this book, but I like it. I like the way she writes. So the Cat writes a novel. I finished reading this one. I can see why people like this book. It is really, really helpful. Also, it does have a selection of plots, and when we are using, doing the camp and all that, we definitely need some help with plots sometimes, especially newbies. We may need all the help that we can get. Joseph Campbell's The Hero with 1,000 Faces. I have to admit though, I haven't finished reading it. It is very, very interesting. I mean, it's very, very scholarly, very scholar type of work. Maybe that's why I haven't finished reading it, but it might help as long as you take it with a grain of salt. Like, I've seen that some people take it literally, which is kind of puzzling to me because, I mean, you take away the things that you need and you kind of like just discard the other things. This book, Plot and Structure, by James Scott Bell of the Write Great Fiction series. Definitely helpful. Kind of feel like they may have taken something from The Hero with 1,000 Faces, mostly because that book is so iconic, but he does mention that he definitely took pointers from Sid Field's book on screenwriting, but also Lawrence Block's writing the novel. Because funny you should mention Sid Field, I actually have that book. This is one of the first books that I bought that's actually about writing, because this was the only book that I found at the time, like it's years and years ago, but this is the first book I saw that actually handled writing about writing, and I do remember liking this book. Should definitely read it again, because it definitely made things make sense, basically. Oh, here's a book that like Wynne actually mentioned her book, the Strong and White, The Elements of Style. This is grammar though more, so but again, when you're writing, knowing grammar is definitely a good thing, especially when you're writing in a language that is in your native language. And what probably everyone could do with learning grammar. This is becoming me showing off all the books that I have about writing, you know, books on writing, like plots. That wasn't my intention, but there was one book that I was going to show you, and I saw all the others, so definitely need to do that, a separate video on those books. I have more books, but this is a book that I want to show you. It is the 20 Master Plots and How to Build Them by Ronald B. Tobias. I want to say Tobias, but then again, probably not the correct way. This came out, oh yeah, the copyright is 1993, so it's a bit old, and I did get it secondhand, you can tell, because previous owner underlined with a red pen or a pencil, and I still haven't learned that it's okay when you owe a book, like a teaching book, that it's okay to mark your books. But yeah, so this book definitely deals with plots. The quest, the adventure, the pursuit, the rescue, escape, revenge, the riddle, rivalry, underdog, temptation, metamorphosis, transformation, maturation, love, forbidden love, sacrifice, discovery, wretched, excess, 19 and 20 are ascension and descension. But with like books like this, I mean, they help, they can assist, but they are not a recipe book. I mean, they kind of are, but at the same time. So in short, what escalated into me showing off my writing books on writing, gather our weapons, gather our tools, like the books on that help us write. Maybe read them now in March, so we have something to work with. But you know, also find out what are you gonna write. What's the plot? What's the title? Characters. Maybe you should work on finding out what characters you want to write if you're gonna start from the beginning. But I think for the most part, just have fun. Like, I should have planned this. But also, like, are you gonna write fantasy, science fiction, historical, alternative history, contemporary? And then again, like, what characters are we gonna write? Are we gonna write from, you know, like a kind of typical hero? Are we gonna write from a typical villain? Are we gonna write like, it's so, like, everything is available. So I guess that point would be gathering inspiration. So what do we have? We have making decision to write what we're gonna write, like a novel, short story, screenplay. Titles, have fun with finding titles. We need characters, the plot, the genre. Definitely need writing space. Inspiration. Look, we got 8 points. Probably forgetting something, but then again, I mean, 9 is definitely the excitement of writing. I kind of want to make it 10 points though, so what would the 10th point be? How much we write? Personally, what I want to make, because April has 30 days, and I know that personally for me 1,000 words a day is definitely you know, something that I can accomplish. So my personal goal is probably going to be 30,000 words. I want to write, yeah, basically a novelette. And I'm leaning towards something like isekai or stepping into another world, that trope. Because my brain is kind of full of that right now, and I kind of want to explore that, like taking April to explore that concept. So yeah, I really hope you're gonna have fun in April. Like, it's my first time participating, and I am so excited for it. And yeah, prep your toolbox, be prepared, and have fun. Let's have fun. Let's just have fun in April. So yeah, I will hopefully see you later, and take care. Bless.